FT Live in Seattle, presented by Xbox Game Pass. Braun, Brzezinski, Kratz, Kipnis, Russ, Dorsey. How you doing, man?
What's going on, guys?
Good to see you.
Same.
Favorite part of the Derby? Let's start there. We've been ripping it to shreds. What we loved was more in the first block, the first segment, and then what we didn't love just now. I don't know if you caught any of it. Otherwise, we'll get you caught up on like the kind of ADD-ness of how it was tough to pay attention.
I think Adley was awesome, right? Like I wish that he would been able to move on, but it's kind of luck of the draw being in that 8-seed spot. But being able to flip to the other side of the plate, I think that's something that fans, even as the first round out, are going to remember for a long time, right? That's one of those iconic things. Like, remember when Adley flipped sides of the plate during the Derby? So I think that's a big one. And I think Randy, right? Showman, the ultimate showman. Anytime postseason, WBC, home run derby, he's going to show up. And so for me, those are the kind of the things that stand out about this derby.
His pose is kind of like universally known. It's become a signature. Yeah, even Vladdy Jr. did it when he won, at the end there with Randy.
He did it to him, though. He went up to him and was like.
But it was fun.
It was great. It wasn't like ill-willed at all. That was awesome.
Right.
They kind of walked up and he was like, yeah, I got you.
Sign of respect.
Yeah, it was
sign of respect amongst
awesome.
friends. But no, I think from that aspect, I picked Vladdy coming in. And I think the weird part to me was I didn't think he performed that well in the beginning, right? And you thought, okay, is Vladdy going to get beat? He's going to be a first round out. He's able to hold up. He was gassed, but to be able to come out there and win it, first father-son to win the Derby, another great storyline.
Yeah, that was cool. And then on the downside, we were saying, even to your Adley point, not getting pitches fast enough. It's become a speed game, and we think universally it's become too much of a speed game in terms of how it wears the dudes out. You're not seeing their, quote, best swings. Like, you want to see some majestic blasts, 500 feet, whatever, right? And also for the fan experience, both in ballpark and watching it from home, there's so much so quickly. So how do you think it can be fixed? I was throwing out an idea where we lessen it and just do like a minute or two, and then we give them, say, 3 or 5 swings, and those count more. And yes, they might take some pitches, but 3 or 5 swings is not going to kill anyone.
I kind of like the timer, but I do agree, like, it's almost guys are rushing, and then you get guys more gas where you don't see those majestic shots. So it's 3 minutes, maybe take it to 2, but, yeah, I like some swings may count more than others. But I don't know if, it's some type of hybrid, because I think the 10 outs format, I think we kind of realize that that's probably not the best way to do it. But, yeah, if you could get a hybrid system where you get the best swings from guys, but also, like, it moves. So you got to adjust. Like, we've been in this system for 6-7 years now. And so as the thing continues to grow and you continue to do it, you're going to find the right balance in between.
I'd like to see a pressure format, because you saw Rosarena. What do you need? 4 to tie. And as soon as he didn't hit the 1, you could see the pressure started mounting. So I'd like to see some type of, like, pressure format where it's like you get 4 swings.
That's the original format.
But, but without it being like.
Hear me out.
Maybe you can put a limit on how many takes. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Right?
If you don't hit 10 of them out, we'll call them outs. And you get 10
But it's an entertainment thing. It's an entertainment game that they're putting on right there. So you want to see more home runs. So the time one does work well.
AJ, you said you want the fewer takes.
Maybe you could limit go back to the 10 outs so you can actually watch the ball.
Yeah.
But limit the number of takes. Because remember, guys would hit one, and then they take 5 pitches right down the middle.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, okay, just swing.
It looked like a high school showcase.
Come on, dude.
And it puts much more of an emphasis on the guy you have throwing to you, where it's like, hey, man, we can't mess around here.
Yeah.
Like, I need pitches right here in my spot.
I need quality pitches.
Right. Like, I don't need you throwing sliders to me.
Did you see a Garcia's dude threw like sliders that like tried to strike him out in the first round. Like, it was awful.
Paint corners.
It was way down.
Harper's dad one year was throwing cutters almost.
He always throws cutters.
Does he? Okay.
Always throws cutters. It's because he's so jacked. He can't move.
He can't extend. He can't
extend.
over
He's like,
Was
he's
he
like cutters in 2018 when he won? Yeah.
But that's
But
if
if you're used to it and
throws
you've
it.
trained that way or with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's like Pete Alonso's guy, Aaron Myers. Like he just got signed a contract to be in the Mets bullpen. Like he was nasty down and away, just candy pop-ups the whole time. Like it was.
He was
crazy.
trying out for.
He was trying out for the Mets bullpen.
Yeah.
And he's in. He's in. Aaron Myers
But it
just
puts
made a contract.
This format is now a emphasis on the pitcher.
Yeah.
More than ever.
Yeah.
Because they have to not only throw it perfect, they have to throw it. It's like
Yeah.
rapid, as fast as I can get the ball and throw it, right? It is rapid fire as it gets. And that's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be let everyone see what's happening, let everybody watch the ball and not hurry up. And I don't know. There's got to be a better way. I don't know what it is. We talked about putting targets in the outfield for sponsors, right?
Yeah.
And putting signs, this is how far it is. But then you're going to lose seats, and Major League Baseball wants everyone in the park. So it's like, let's maybe have fans hold up signs, moving targets or something.
How about
something like that?
How about you are the designated? There's 10 designated fans. You're in your different colored jerseys. You have to run around and try to catch fly balls
Counts as more.
in the for your player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And dudes are like in the stands, so you're running through people trying to catch.
It's
like
never going to
like
happen. Dudes
500.
that get hurt. It ain't happening. I mean, it sounds cool,
Hey,
but it
you
ain't
win-
happening.
What'd they do? Like you win, like it used to be like the real estate.
Yeah,
like,
you used to win a house.
That's what I mean. You'd be hurting people. You'd be diving over seats. I would love to see it. Julio's out there trying to hit to a Mariners fan. Like that's not necessarily
They have a
like
plan to where the guy runs to the right center on like the third swing, and Julio goes that way to deke him.
no. He's not playing against.
It's like a post
him.
route.
They're playing.
That's what I'm saying. He's trying to hit it to his guy.
I got you.
He's like a quarterback with the baseball.
I don't know, Russ. Maybe you have a better idea because we obviously are.
Our ideas aren't great yet.
Just
Well,
don't
we
have,
obviously
just
don't
don't
know
have
what
the
we're talking
All-Star
about.
game in Chicago. That's the only thing we can't with
That's
you
hate.
two guys.
Hey, man.
Just you two guys. We can't have that.
There's got to be. I mean, there's got to be a better. I mean, everyone is brainstormed this thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure MLB has brainstormed the
They haven't.
shit out of this thing.
They just react.
No, they're not.
They just react. They're not
they
pro.
changed it
Literally
to 10 outs
waiting
timer,
for us to
everyone's
put
like, oh, we
something
love
out
the
there,
timer.
and then they're gonna make
But
it
now
like
as
they did
that's
it.
kind of adjusted. The players have adjusted to that.
Right.
Now we get the product we saw yesterday, which was still great. It was fun. It was
Yeah.
awesome. Because, like, at the end, Rosarena needed to hit. He had the 30 seconds. He's like, all right, I need to hit 4. And he struggled because, like you said, pressure. So there's got to be a happy medium, I feel like, in between the two.
I gave it to you.
10 outs.
It's timer plus swings.
I don't know.
What,
They
you
got
don't like that?
not lucky, but it worked out so well for them the first year or two. Whereas, like, I think Frazier was one of the first years where there were buzzer beaters to advance. There were Harper.
at the end, yeah.
So they're like, this is amazing. This is perfect. Comes down to the wire. But now it's like you're kind of seeing some of the
Judge.
downsides to it.
My thing, though, better than buzzer beater, especially because it's just so fast, is if you're at that point where it's, okay, now he's got his 3 swings, and each one counts as 3, and if he hits 450 plus on any of them, it's 5.
After the clock hits 0, you
Yes,
get 3
and
money
those
balls.
3 swings,
So
it's
it's like money balls?
Money
You get, like,
balls.
the
he's
money
down,
balls and the
he's
3
down
point?
10, but he can make up for that right now if he hits
With no
2
time.
bombs.
Now we're getting
450
somewhere.
plus.
I like the idea of a
Yeah.
money
That
ball.
would be because then you're building up anticipation and
Well,
all that.
Or how about, like, if you did something like where you have, like, remember they used to have the gold balls? They had
That's
the
what
pink
I'm thinking
balls
of.
for T-Mobile?
I was like, did they already do that?
You say you're down. Say you're Pete Alonso and you're down and you get 3 swings and you can wager. All right,
I was
want.
just-
And
that's
then
where I
at
was
the end,
going
it's
too.
like this one's for 40, and he hits it. And but you only get 1 pitch. It's got to
But
be
do you
1
lose
pitch. or
40
one
if
swing.
you don't get it out.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're just out.
It's a wager.
Pete Alonso, the least amount of home runs.
-3, the winner.
Minus
today.
200. Right, but think about it. If you're like, okay, you get 1 ball
Right.
and you can catch up, and he gets 1
Right.
swing.
This ball is worth 10
Yeah.
homers.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yes, that's
Double or
awesome.
nothing.
Double Jeopardy.
That's like 3-point
Double Jeopardy.
contest.
Yeah.
The last basketball on each rack, right? Isn't it worth 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Let's spin it to the All-Star game. So first question for you, and we have a picture that you took yesterday. Will Shohei Ohtani be able to get through the sea of fans and reporters to actually get into the ballpark to be a DH today?
That's a great question. It's one of my favorite things about watching the superstardom of Shohei Ohtani is just the following that he brings, right? The aura that he has around people where it's just like, man, Shohei's here because you're going to see 150 people walking in before he ever walks in. And he's become a guy that's almost transcended the sport. Not almost, he has transcended the sport in a lot of ways, like similar to like what LeBron does in basketball, like what Tiger did in golf, where there are people who don't watch baseball at all who know who Shohei Ohtani is, right? On the cover of GQ, and that's so great for the sport. At the same time, he's almost like a rock star because he's going to have this following of people around him, the reporters who are here in the States here to cover him, the reporters from Japan who are here to cover him, and their only job is covering one guy, not the Angels, it's to cover Shohei Ohtani. And I think that's really cool in seeing how the sport has grown and seeing how this guy has come over here and changed baseball in a lot of ways.
That's not almost like a rock star. That's a rock star.
Exactly.
The thing about Shohei, though, is nobody knows him because he doesn't really do interviews.
He learned that from Trout.
You never Trout came
Trout
off out there.
Trout's
mold for
changed
us.
now.
Trout's
though.
different now.
I said that to somebody yesterday. Like, in the last year, you've seen Mike Trout talk more than you saw in the first.
You want to
2
know
years.
why?
Yep.
Why?
Shohei.
What?
Listen, I
I
don't know this for a fact.
I'm all ears right
tea?
now.
No, I don't know this. Again, I don't. Yes, you guys. Shohei, Mike Trout was always the best player.
Right.
Shohei's taking that from him. So now Trout's thinking, I got to get myself out there a little bit and kind of take the mantle back. Not on a jealousy level, but if you think about it, because Trout never did anything.
No.
Now you see him doing video games, you see him doing commercials.
You always thought he was leaving like hundreds of millions
Hundreds of millions of dollars. But now Shohei's everywhere.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you somebody in Trout's camp said, hey, man, you're going to have to get back out there a little bit because he's taking, even in Anaheim, he's taking all your thunder.
You think Trout cares about that?
Trout might not, but his people do.
Yeah.
Are you saying he's doing it for the boys, or you're saying he's doing it because his people are like?
You're not the face anymore.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Because he was the face.
He was the face,
You know,
but
you've been the
with
best
a
player
hidden
in
face.
the league for years.
Right.
Right?
There's
He was
also
Not
a
even
difference.
one on your team.
There's no whispering. I can't hear you guys.
We're still gossiping over AJ.
Now it's about you, Scott.
You believe him.
Oh,
Fetch.
so handsome.
I think there's a difference between with what you're saying, doing commercials and endorsement deals and marketing, right, which Ohtani's doing, and doing interviews and having more candid conversations, which Trout's doing that now.
But it leads,
He's opening
one
up.
thing leads to the other.
Yes.
For me.
Yeah,
Right?
I
If
agree.
he has more candid conversations, more
Yes.
people are like, oh, man, Mike Trout is not as recluse as we thought he was. He's actually kind of funny, and he does have a personality, which he does. If you've ever talked to him, he actually does. But nobody outside of Anaheim or very select people know Mike Trout other than what you see on TV, which is nothing
I think
for
all
years.
you know about him is that he's an Eagles fan for the last.
And he loves weather.
And
he likes weather.
Yeah.
But his FT Live interview was great.
Yeah.
Like he opened up and there was no cookie cutter vanilla bullshit answers.
Because he's just hanging out with the boys.
Right.
And I don't think we enable – there's something for Shohei. Like you saw the throngs of media, majority Japanese media, but I'm sure if you could get closer, it would have been American media. Shohei has something, and that's where I think baseball, not to use a pun, but swings and misses in selling their athletes, because we play every single day. It's so much easier to let who you are out. But baseball doesn't allow that because they're like, they're just stuck in this mold of a certain, what you have to do this certain thing. And like what you saw Mike come on our show the other day, we had crappy connection, and the dude was just, he was talking about golf. He was talking about how, he loves his son being out on the field. He was asking us, like, how fast were the fastballs when you first got up there? Like
he said it was getting out of control with the velo.
It's getting out of control.
He talked about when he'll play in the Derby. His son will force
Wants
him
to see him.
eventually. And the Ohtani conversation. You asked Trout that even last year, like, hey, how are you going to keep Ohtani? Be like, it's on the front office, man. We'll see what they can do. This time he was like, it's on me. I'm talking to him. We got to win. He's going to get paid anyway, so he's looking for wins. Like, he was getting into it. I'm like, let's go. That's what you want. My other thing is, I think the modern superstar needs to open up like that. Ohtani's doing something that no one else is doing, but even for Trout, like you're just an incredible ball player, we want to know more about
Good
you.
for the game.
Jeter was a face for a while, but he never said anything.
The best player
and the modern
in the game,
fan wants more.
The best
out
player
of
in the
you.
game of baseball should not be more unrecognizable than football players who wear helmets while they play. You could, like, Trout could walk down and you might not recognize him, but a football player walks down that you know well, and you're going to know his face better, and he wears a helmet the entire time.
Granted, though, there one difference. Football players are huge.
True.
Right? So
True.
it's easier for baseball players to blend in because
That's true.
most baseball players are normal-sized human beings. Not football
Yeah,
players
wouldn't be able to tell.
are 6'6".
Yeah.
You know, even
That's a good point.
quarterbacks
That's a
are
good point.
huge, and the quarterbacks are really who people recognize. They don't
Yeah,
recognize the
yeah.
offensive lineman other than, oh, that dude's gigantic. The
Yeah.
dude at the party last night that was
We
8'7".
were talking
He's
about-
like, who the heck's that guy? We don't know, but he's got to be somebody. He's 7'8" or whatever
you,
he was.
You cover all sports. Like, you do a show with all sports. Help us out.
I think for me, like, covering baseball for so long and seeing when you guys play, the guys who you could always go to for the quote.
Yeah.
Right? Every reporter has that guy's like, this guy has something interesting to say. And it's not always going to be the best player either, because I think everybody's not comfortable,
No.
right? You can know that, all right, this is good for my brand. This will be good for me in the long run. When I'm done playing, like, I can do something like Foul Territory where people will want to talk to me and I'll love to talk to guys. But until you're comfortable with that, you can't. And you're not going to be able to force somebody to do that. So for Mike, for a long time, maybe he just wasn't comfortable being in the spotlight. Everybody knows that kid who was the best player on every team in every sport, but they didn't really like to talk about it, or they weren't really that out in front of everybody person. And maybe at this point in his life where you're married, you have a kid, you've settled, you got all the money in the world, now you feel more comfortable opening up to people about who you are as the guy who was the best player in the world for so long.
And sometimes they don't speak English.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's
In this
percentage.
sport, it happens.
27%, I think, this year are from outside of the United
Yeah.
States. So that's a big thing. But you see it in other sports. What in other sports would you point to as like, his personality? Like, why was Kevin Durant in Oklahoma City the highest Q-rated athlete in the United States? Like, if we had a baseball team in Oklahoma City that, besides AAA, the baseball player there wouldn't be the highest Q rating. So
What's
what is
Q rating again?
like your
Popularity.
Basically.
I mean, you can play off this, but for NBA, they sell drama. Like Damian Lillard situation right now. Anything that pops up, we have the same drama. We don't sell it as much. We're trying to do
it's
that.
reality TV
Yes.
in basketball, right? Whereas in baseball, it's not as much.
But do you cover it differently? You know what I mean?
Well,
like as far as
because
if
me
you
as
cover
a
basketball,
baseball guy,
right?
I just think that social media has changed those sports more than any other, like basketball and football. Whereas baseball, it's more of a surprise when a guy is good in the media and has his socials popping and has a YouTube, like Julio Rodriguez. From the time he was like 18 years old, had this YouTube channel, and he was bilingual, and then all of a sudden everybody wants to put him on the cover of everything. It's no real surprise because that was a kid from the time he was young, when he was a prospect, was like, no, I want to do this. And his brand has grown so much here in Seattle, where people in this city want to build with him. People around the country want to build with him. And until you get more guys that are comfortable doing that, and I think you're starting to see growth in that area with guys like really going in on their socials and, all right, I'm going to start a YouTube. And Mookie Betts for a long time was the same way. Mookie was more of a quiet guy.
Yeah.
Now he has his podcast, and now he's doing interviews with guys. So I think you're starting to see guys realize this can help me in the long run in the next 10 years or so if I can be comfortable with this, because I know this will be good for not only me right now as a player, branding myself, but in the long run when I'm done.
We're tight on time. Just give me AL or NL. Who's winning?
NL.
NL? Gotcha. Okay, we're going to go over our picks. Russ, great to see you, dude. Have
Thank you
fun at the
guys.
game later.